Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. My 10 minutes to the second, I think it will be. I was here for the first time last year, and John White said we'd like to hear a bit more from you, so blame him if it doesn't go down well. But I'm the Reverend Chris Upton, the National Lead to the Waterways Chaplaincy. But before I speak about my current job, a little bit about me. I was brought up on the East Coast, sailing oppies, toppers, lasers, and then around a variety of yachts, race weeks, over to Holland, down to Cowes. A classic memory was winning the Britannia Cup in 1993 with the great Richard Matthews, where the skipper's weight in champagne was the prize. And we broke the jockey's chair and won 42 magnums. I read naval architecture at Newcastle as my first degree, and then lived and sailed in Jamaica for a year before returning to Essex, working as a fisherman and as a boat builder, before it all went wrong and I moved to Yorkshire and was landlocked training for Baptist ministry. I served in a small Baptist church in Haworth for 23 years, becoming the de facto chaplain to the village, outlasting 11 Methodist ministers and 4 Anglican priests. But 2 years ago, I jacked that in and took on my current role. But enough about me. I do want to take the next few minutes to share the story of the Waterways Chaplaincy, what we do, why it matters, and how you, the industry, can partner with us to make a lasting difference. A simple image, one of my chaplains, Alison, walking the towpath, no agenda, no clipboard, just a listening ear, a warm smile, and a willingness to stop at another's behest. But of course, it's not always like this. In fact, the majority of the work has far fewer smiles. We have around 110 chaplains clustered in various different hubs. We're a national network of trained volunteer chaplains walking the towpaths, visiting the marinas, engaging with boaters, cafe owners, fishermen, cyclists, anyone and everyone. We're non-judgmental, inclusive, and deeply practical. I think I probably got the job because of my first degree in marine technology rather than anything else. But our chaplains are all embedded in their local communities. They offer pastoral care and support, advocacy, signposting. They know where their GPs are. They know where the supermarkets, the warm spaces. They know their local police. And they offer support to anyone and everyone, regardless of faith and background. We started down in St Albans when the Salvation Army noticed so many suicides, around 20 each year on the canals. They commissioned a report and called it Seeds of Exclusion. It highlighted the poverty, the homelessness, the isolation and the ill health on and around the waterways. They thought it was just the tip of the iceberg. And in response to this, we were formed, became a registered charity and spread around the network. Until very recently, we were bankrolled by another charity, the Anglican charity, the Church Army. But I'll say it again, we were started and motivated by people that cared, that people that were not keen to look the other way. We're not here to preach, we're here to be present. We all know that the inland waterways are beautiful, but they can also be isolating. And behind the idyllic scenes that we've probably got on the front of our glossy flyers for our marinas or chandlers or boat sales, come a variety of other challenges. Physical ill health, mental health, financial hardship, housing insecurity, the list goes on and on. In the past year, our chaplains have supported people, hundreds of individuals in crisis. We've helped secure emergency accommodation for those living under a wreck of canvas, helped arrange and undertaken funerals, attended to the aftermath of boat fires, worked alongside marina managers, CRT and EA staff to de-escalate situations. We've provided a bridge between boaters and statutory services. We've simply been there, doing what chaplains do. We talk to a lot of people: marina staff, navigation authorities, business owners, liveaboards. Pictures there. Our 100+ chaplains do over 5,500 hours of volunteer work each year, not each week, not yet, connecting with over 3,000 people. The majority of our work is not done in and around marinas, but on the cut. We're often the first to notice when someone's struggling, and sometimes the only people that they will speak to. On your tables, you'll see a small light blue thing. One of you look at it on each of your tables. Open up if you would. And in it, you'll see a variety of cards. Take a card, pass it on. On one side, you'll see some pretty pictures or some pretty awful pictures. But on the other side, you will see, serious, please break open the packs. I don't want to take them back. You'll see some referrals that have come into us via our online website. Perhaps flick through them now and later during the day. We get roughly one of these every day. So how does our work connect to you, the industry? Well, I suggest in many, many ways, but primarily this. The health of the industry is directly linked to the well-being of the people on the waterways. Our chaplains help de-escalate. There are fewer crises that disrupt your operations. We help better relationships between boaters, marina staff, licensing authorities. We encourage an improved reputation for this, our sector, as compassionate and responsible. And we help with stronger retention of customers, staff, holiday makers who feel valued and safe. By supporting individuals, we are helping stabilise the ecosystem. And we do it quietly, consistently, and dare I say it, cost effectively. To use a sadly appropriate metaphor, we all know it is better and easier to stop people falling in than to spend time pulling them out. We're helpful for the partnerships we already have, but there's so much more that we could do with your help. I said just now that we were helped by the charity of the Church Army, but what with the cost of living crisis, they have gone through a restructuring and need to refocus on their original charitable aims. They have helped us with safeguarding training, payroll, comms, IT, but the Waterways Chaplaincy is now looking to stand on its own 2 feet, and we need your support. Here are 3 simple things that we need: funding and resources. We're a charity, and our work depends on donations and grants. Now already today, Campbell and John have spoken about the government withdrawing the statutory funding. Well, my heart bleeds. You lose millions, but we have never had any statutory funding. All our work comes from individuals throwing very small amount of cash our way. We get roughly £60,000 a year from grants and trusts, £20,000 from individuals, but it costs currently £120,000 to run the chaplaincy, and we're all running on fumes, dare I say it. Every chaplain is given a shirt, a gilet, a cap, a windlass, a throw line. We're looking at encouraging our chaplains to use life jackets. Times that by 100, everything costs a good bit. But please also, I wonder if you could help us raise awareness. Display our contact details in your marina office. Some posters on your tables, I'll put them out later, downloadable from our website. Put them in your shower cubicles, on your front desk, in the bar, wherever it is. Get the message out that if anybody needs help, the Waterways Chaplaincy is there. Let your staff know that we exist, who we are, and they encourage them, if they can and want to touch base with us. It is thirsty work. I'm going to just have a little drink. Thank you, Paul. Haven Knox Johnson sponsored. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to name your brand on the Waterways Chaplaincy merch, but we had a great day with Paul and others filming at Hertford Marina. We made waffling by the waterside. I've carved it up and been putting it on Facebook ever since. I couldn't have done such a quality videoing, but it then speaks to all the bishops that I've got in my pocket. It speaks to the local churches. There are 1,200 very close, within a quarter of a mile of the canals and rivers. What a resource if people only knew they were there, and if the churches only understood the needs that are there on the towpath. Now, my time is nearly gone, so we need collaboration across the industry. Thank you. The waterways were dug out by real people over 200 years ago, but they're more than a workplace infrastructure, as you know. They're a home, they're sanctuary, they're a lifeline for thousands, actually more like millions of people every day. And just as boats need maintenance, so do people. RCR does a great job when a boat breaks down. We have a retainer membership with them, and boaters in trouble use our membership to get their boat fixed. But what RCR does for boat maintenance, I'm proud to say the Waterways Chaplaincy does for people maintenance. We show up in all weathers, listen deeply, come alongside people in their pain, and by doing this, I think we offer hope that is invaluable. So as you think about the future of the inland waterways, I invite you to think not just about the boats and businesses, but about all the people you might never meet. The people that cannot afford the new boats that you are selling, that cannot afford places in the marinas that you are proud to call your home and workplace, that cannot afford those boat safety certificates, cannot afford insurance, that are living basically well below the poverty line. The Waterways Chaplaincy exists for all, those seen and those unseen. Thank you very much for your time. I've probably gone over my 10 minutes, but it seems to be the way of it, this section. Any questions? I will be at the bar later. I've got two colleagues here, Mark and Howie, catch them. Mark looks after the south and Howie looks after the north. One of them was a near pro windsurfer, and one of them also leads a motorcycle club. I'll leave you to work out which is which. Thank you for your time.